that better, team? Can you hear me now? Let me know before I continue. Okay, there we go. Don't know what happened there. All right, so good morning. Sorry about that. Hopefully you had a good extended weekend. Most of you, I'm assume, like me, didn't trade yesterday. President's Day, half day, much less volume. Markets is at or pushing all-time highs. Okay, so the ES all-time highs, SPY, QQQ are already all-time highs. The ETFs are already at the all-time highs, making new highs. The NQ is not quite there yet, so it's lagging behind. We have a bit of divergence in that market. We have some pretty big levels to look at. So let's start, as we always do, with the daily, and we'll go from there. All right, you will notice daily chart is doing what? It's tapping right up against top Bollinger Band. That top Bollinger Band has gone from pointing sideways and down while we're in this chop to starting to open up. Both sides will starting to open up. We talked about this in the last few weeks. Once the market's ready for a squeeze, Bollinger Bands will expand and it will give either a nice trend with this 5-day supporting it, right, or we'll do some type of reversion before we look for a trend, or if we start really letting go, we're going to come way deeper because the bottom Bollinger Band will do the same thing. All right, so we're starting to create room. For now, there isn't much room. That doesn't mean this can't be one of the few days in the year which we get a close outside the top Bollinger Band. It is possible if they're going to set a squeeze on today, but I think most of the damage has been done since we've been breaking out a sort of 21,900. Right, and drifting higher. Short squeeze, short squeeze, short squeeze. This is all shorts getting taken out of the market, using their stops to go higher. We're running out of levels to attack now. Obviously, we have this daily level up here. All right, this is kind of where the market is looking to drive in towards today. Can it get above that? Time will tell. What I would say is there's no catalyst in this market for lower prices right now. So if we're going to have lower prices, it's more likely to be a bit of profit taking. I'd love to see a deep pullback. I don't think we get it today. What would be ideal this week would be a 2-day pullback and then a move higher. That would be the easiest play this week if the market's going to give it to us. It already looks very unlikely because we're gapping up. All right, so we have to be careful. I don't really want to participate as a buyer in supply. It's a key rule for me, isn't it? Don't want to be a buyer in supply. So I'll be needing the market to break out, retest, hold to go higher. Failed breakout, I'll be thinking about that short rotation back down, ideally into here, but I'm going to give you some other levels on the hourly. Or if we're just going to consolidate here, there's not a lot we're going to do, and we're going to wait for tomorrow, if that's the case, probably. Moving into the hourly chart, and you'll see more of what I'm talking about. Okay, we can change this for sure to blue. Hourly chart. All right, all of last week, all we did, every pullback, every single pullback got soaked. Soaked off here, breakout, pullback. Breakout, pullback, RBS. Breakout, pullback, RBS. Breakout, pullback, RBS. All right, very clearly, market making higher highs and higher lows on the hourly. We have volume being built. Now, while this may matter a little bit, I'm more interested in these bigger levels down here we've been at numerous times, even looking left, numerous times. All right, so I'm interested how we act if we ever get down here this week, 22,100. If we get down there before breaking out of all-time highs, then I think there's a chance to buy for the rotation back up. If we start to break out and we're failing down here, I'd be a little bit more concerned to be a buyer in the market because they might have had their exit. Key levels that we're looking at here are going to be some of the daily levels. Previous day close, the volume, all right, all the volume created overnight right here, 2230-ish. And you have previous day close around 22,200, well, 22,195. All right, so sort of big levels here. If the market wants to close that gap, remember we're gapping up from previous day close. If the market wants to close that gap and put in some kind of bear trap or bullish signature, anything like a W pattern or an inverse head and shoulders, something like that, we can think about that rotation back up to here and all-time highs. If we remain heavy after closing the gap under here and we keep getting stuck, okay, there's possible that short rotation deeper into this key level that I'm looking at. both of those are potentially on the cards today. If we move up to this 5-minute chart, you'll see more of what I'm talking about. Previous day point of control here from Monday. I'm also got this one from Friday because I know yesterday was lighter volume, just in case this market's going to decide it wants to go for a deeper wash. So first level is the old Asia London high. Notice today's Asia tapped in against it. We broke out, London pulled back, RBS. Very, very simple. Held in here. Do we need to come back in there for a retest? All right, that might be a buying opportunity there. If it fails that, then it's going to have VWAP, previous day point of control, and a rotation into closing the gap. This is the gap fill area down here. All right, so that's really what I'm looking at. Two options, either a buy signature here or a buy signature here. Failing this, failing under. Fail this, fail down to here. If we're going to push, all right, without any sort of pullback in the market, we have this supply above from the daily and the hourly. And then I'm going to think about, do we do a failed breakout for that rotation back down? Do we break out and hold for a push higher? Okay, or do we not even make it there and we just sort of chop in a zone? Those are all possible today. I do not want to be a buyer up here, ideally. All right, do not want to be a buyer up there. We're going to think about everything else now as well. Let's have a quick look across the board. All right, so VIX with a gap up, but it's still in the 15s, so still pretty bullish. Like we talked about, QQQ, SPY, gapping up all-time high. So QQQ can afford to pull back down into 538, right? And nice sort of 2.7 point pullback. And the SPY can afford to pull back to 610, 609 if it wants, right? Previous day low, previous day close. Although all those areas today are going to be key if we're going to pull back into them. Remember, most of the market, other than the NQ, has already made new all-time highs. Let's have a quick look at the MAG. And what are we doing for time? We're doing okay. Let's have a look. So Apple. Don't love the look of Apple here. All right, big drive yesterday, Friday. Sorry, no market open yesterday. Big drive Friday. Tried to gap up overnight. Failed twice above Friday's highs and is starting to rotate lower. So if Apple's going to start letting go of 243s, then you can expect a rotation into 42s and 40 flat. So Apple looking like potential rollover. Its back test of like 242, 240s is going to be key. Let's have a look at Meta. Microsoft, much the same. Actually, more of a range here in Microsoft. Just trading sideways for quite a while now in a downtrend. Might be due a breakout, but building a bit of a wedge here. So I'm going to keep my eye on that one. Amazon, very similar since earnings. Trading sideways 1, 2, like a 3-day range. Everything under 231 is a problem for Amazon, right? It's got supply up there, so it keeps rejecting that. If it can get through that, maybe we move higher. But it is gapping up this morning, but giving a little bit back here. Google, very, very similar. Had a big push in Thursday after hours, and Friday pre-market started rolling back, holding Thursday's highs, gapping up again today, and then with this market now looking to pull back, it's pulling back with it. Meta the same, all-time highs, like incredible strength, and looks very strong. All right, so just holding every RBS level right now. Just depends if it's a bit frothy up here. Remember, Meta has done a huge move over the last month or so. Right, we're looking at big moves, big breakout moves over 700. You only have to go back, a month, and we were trading 140 points lower on Meta. So it's a big old move on Meta, so maybe some profit taking coming in the market at some point. Nvidia, very strong. All right, continues to bounce back. Nice breakout last week. It continues to move higher in towards its supply levels. I'm going to have to look left here because I'm running out of levels on Nvidia. Let's have a little look. So it's going to start finding some supply here into 42s. If it can get through that, it's looking for that drive all the way back up to 150. But it looks strong here, holding VWAP. And Tesla, just getting smoked. All right, getting smoked, stuck at supply. It will try and build an inverse head and shoulder here on Tesla. But if it can't do that, it's already given back all its gap up gains. So Bit of weakness coming into the market, some profit taking coming into the market here. You can see this is getting very, very weak very, very quickly. All right, too frothy up here and giving a pretty decent pullback while we're talking on screen, isn't it? The last 4 minutes or so. All right, coming straight back into view up into those levels. We've got a minute left till the open. All right, a minute left to the open. Not in a hurry, as always, to buy today. I'm going to treat today very much like a Monday. All right, treating it like a Monday. Let's zoom up, say good morning to everyone, see what everyone is thinking. Morning, Ramus, Bruce, Miguel, BU, Clint, Jeff, Coop, Thumper, Marek, Radar, Christy, Glenn, Stephen W, Leron, Peter Curry, TR, Glenn Keogh, Ryan Keogh, Ian, Jimbo, John, Jeff, SS, Indicator, Glenn Paris, Jay Mooney, Array, Crawford, Exister, Vince, Trentry81, Mr. Slim, Daniel, Minux, Jesse M. Good morning, everyone. So 50% of you are bullish today, 30% of you thinking that there's chop, 18% of you thinking we're bearish. All right, so let's just see what we get. Higher time frame is bullish, but like we said, we are pushing right against that top Bollinger Band on the daily. All right, failing off that right now, coming back down to check view up. This is key level and this is key level. How we operate after those key levels is going to be key. Not much news scheduled today. The market did just completely thin out here and we're into the open. So let's just see what we get. Like I said, I'm not in a hurry to attack this market this morning. Going to let some liquidity come back onto the book, especially after an extended weekend. Just checking the news here if there's anything moving this and this uptick in volume, or if it's just some profit taking. All right, so remember, closing the gap, previous day close will be down here. All right, right into here. So we made all-time highs on everything but the NQ and then started pulling back. So that's what we're watching right now. ES with a bit further to go to fill its gap, as has the spiders and the Qs. VIX with a gap up and driving higher right now on the VIX. So 1570s on the VIX. Just going to let this shake out. Like we said, this was a key area. How it acts here, if it rejects here, maybe gets a rotation down into here. We're holding the point of control right now that we created overnight. If we're going to wash, we can come all the way down into this. All right, remember, overall the market's been bullish, but would not want to be buying all-time highs right now. So let's just let it do what it needs to do. If you caught that short while I was talking for that failure, you're looking pretty good here. Previous day high here. So if you took this, I'd be selling, covering some into previous day high and point of control. It was a nice sell up here while I was talking. Into here and here. So this and this are key levels. If it fails this, you get a deeper rotation. I would be covering some here. But overall, the market's been bullish. Let's have a quick look at the mag. Tesla, 0.75% up. Nvidia, 2.75% up. Meta, 1/3% down. Google, 1/3% up. Amazon, trying to go red to green here. Microsoft, 0.25% up. Apple, 0.5% down. So mixed bag in the Mag 7 again. Mixed bag here. It's starting to finish its shakeout now. Only 2 minutes into the day as it comes back up towards that view up. Let's put, where's our 9:30 print? Let's make sure we got 9:30 in. That's our 9:30 print there. Let's see what we get. All right, do they start rejecting view up and rejecting that key blue box above, or are we going to go for a reclaim and new all-time highs? Didn't quite make it down to here, holding previous day high right now. So the question is, are they going to reject up here for a move into here, or are they going to simply reclaim and go for that rocket ship move all the way back up? Still very early. You haven't even got, come on. What's up with TradingView recently? You're going to have to reload this. There we go. It's a bit better. So coming back up towards its VWAP. Where's my VWAP gone? It's forgetting everything right now. Coming back up towards VWAP. Finding some sellers here for now. ES having relative weakness. NQ with relative strength. Just looking at the divergence between the two of them. Do we get a bear flag for a deeper rotation? I guess that's the question right now. Do we get that bear flag for that deeper rotation? Or is ES going to find a bid here and support price to move back to all-time highs on the Qs? Remember, NQ did not make all-time highs. Everything else did. I am wondering if we're going to bear flag here for a breakdown. Looking to see if I can join this now very quickly. Needs to get through, close the gap, and start washing here. So in this short, already moving into the money, looking for this bear flag breakdown versus New York Open. Can we get through previous day point of control, previous day high or not? Just taking some money off the table very quickly today, letting this build out. Watching ES though. ES still stuck underneath VWAP and previous day high. So already taking some money off the table here. Let this shake out a little bit longer, but looking to see if it's going to get stuck here. Does it offer a small rotation? This is just a scalp. There's not a huge amount in this if it does it. I've already locked some in on that first move down into previous day point of control. Very, very quick here. I was just in it in case it's going to wash. Watching ES here. Still setting up here. It might go again. Are we going to wash? I've got VWAPs looking very, very different across my Ninja and trading view today, which is not ideal. Ninja Trader has VWAP all the way up here in the flow zones right now. Still feels like it wants to do one move lower before buyers come back in right now. Watching the tape. Buyers hanging out lower for sure. Remember, we are bullish overall. I was just looking for a short scalp into an area where I could potentially buy it back cheaper to take it back to highs. SPY stuck underneath previous day high. QQQ not at the previous day high yet. There we go. We're going to break down now. Looking for that move back towards underneath previous day high and back towards here if we can. Just looking for this move here if we can. Anything beyond that is a bonus. If it keeps holding, then obviously this moves off the table. The shorts will get trapped again and we just go drift all the way back higher. But SPY very, very weak today in that wash. Much, much weaker. Looking good here for potential breakdown. Buyers are on the tape here into 22,220. We talked about that in the room. It's a key level. 22,220 to 22,200. That is your key level this morning. All right, so do not be greedy. Here we go. Looking good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Like it to go a bit deeper here. If we can get into 22,220 and 22,200. Here we go, team. Looking very, very good. Need this to let go now. We're expecting buyers to try and protect this area. Okay, remember that we talked about that pre-market. We're expecting buyers to try and protect that area. So anything into here, we're covering some position, looking for it to move into there if it will go. If it won't go, what I'm not going to do is short down here. Right, I'm taking profits every time we're drifting lower. I'm locking in some money. ES looking like it wants to try and find a bounce to come and back test its VWAP here. Right, so you can see that this is the dance between this level and this level. This is where buyers would love to absorb to go all the way higher. If they fail to absorb it and we get under here, we have chance to rotate all the way down into this. Still looking good here. Still looking very, very good. Nice, Ryan. Yeah, it's just scalps to start the morning. These are counter trend. Looking for that move into the key levels that we talked about in Discord. Once we get there, we will wait to see, right? Once we get into here, we'll wait to see. Does it set up something like this, then to go back long all the way to all-time highs? Does it get stuck and start to give a trend opportunity lower? Range on the session, very, very small so far. Still early, but we're only looking at 40-point range. It might be that it just wants to do a dance today between sort of here and here. It could do that all day if it really wants to build liquidity for the next drive higher. But so far, we are looking good. There's some profit taking in the market this morning. The only ones green on the session, Nvidia 2.4% green. Google now gone green on the session just about, but it's doing a dance, green to red, red to green, and Microsoft doing the same kind of thing. Amazon's filled its gap, come all the way back down, currently red, but only just. If it finds bids here, then it's going to be a gap fill for a drive higher. Apple trying to find some bids. Meta 1% down. So mixed bag in the Mag 7. And risk off right now. I'm just waiting to see what we do. Like I said, I would love a move lower. Like this would potentially be buying zone 1, but I'd much, much rather be buying all the way down into some of these if it offers a deep wash today. You can think about this. If we look at the higher time frame, what I was looking at, look at this hourly, right back into these levels here that we talked about, these levels here that we talked about where buyers keep stepping in. If they hold this, we rotate. If they fail this, we come back down to next level. Very, very simple. Keep it simple. Keep your eyes on that hourly. It will save you a lot of pain most of the time. But driving back up, and it's going to go and back test, view up, flow zones, New York Open, and the grey box. Remember, if this stays heavy, I do not want to do that. If that stays heavy, this stays heavy, chance to move here. Reclaim this, chance to go back up. So do me a favor, just under 100 of you watching, smash that like button for me. All right, it means I don't have to nag about it. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm, helps grow the community. Looking like it might wash here for a new bear flag, or the same bear flag, but a new breakdown. Still looking good. That 22,220 is a big level, all the way down to 22,200. Lots of twos. Lots of twos today. But if it will break down here, that's what it's looking for. If it starts to reclaim New York Open and flow zones, potential for a squeeze all the way back up. Chopping around here quite a lot this morning. Still in a 44-point range, small range. Just remind myself what we've got coming. Date. Home builder confidence. I really don't feel like that will move the market much at the top of the hour, but we will get a new hourly and 4-hour candle. San Francisco Fed speaker, 10:20. So really not much in terms of news today. Obviously, you can always have unscheduled news very, very easily in this market. All right, so market trying to find a bid here for that drive back up again. Remember, this is the key area. We're going to dance between this until proves otherwise. I still favor a move down here until proves otherwise. But these are big levels. We came right into previous day high and we're soaking off it, but we haven't closed the gap right now, which is all the way down here into 200. That would be the gap fill. Once we get there, I think probably will probably look like a few more buyers want to enter the market once we've been efficient and closed the gap. So can we get a deeper drive here in the market? Just absorbing so far. Looking at the tape, no big fat numbers to aim for today. There's no like real big size on the tape. There's some guys hanging around right between 225 to 200. There's a bit of a bigger order down underneath 190. and then it sort of thins out a bit until we get to 160, 150. But there's no like massive size. I'm not seeing like a 200 lot or 100 lot that I really want to aim for. Right? But this still feels like it wants to pull down and close that gap. Still looking to see if this will close the gap for us. So can we break down here? Pull the bear flag. Looking good. Just want to make new lows here. We're looking to expand through 220. If it keeps failing to get through 220, you need to be cautious that shorts don't keep entering at these lows in front of previous day high. All right, so we should be entering for these bear flag breakdowns and looking for this move, not looking to enter here and getting caught. Still think it wants to move lower. SPY ES are about to make new lows on the session, it looks like. So we should follow suit. Here we go. Fantastic. All right, so moving into demand. We've got a little bit of lag on my Tradeovate system here, team. Moving my stop, just in case you have it, just be cautious. A little bit of lag there. We're looking good. So here's the move into 220. Make sure you're paying yourself a little bit of money. All right, into between here and here, you should be paying yourself some money. And if we continue to break down under here, we'll think about a deeper wash. But we are sort of expecting buyers to come in at some point around here. If they don't become present today, then we might get a very, very nice move. The gap is a cash gap, Rob. It's a cash gap to previous day close on the ETFs. It's a cash gap. If you don't understand that, there is a video for free on my YouTube, or you can do the course. Right? But markets like to be efficient and close cash gaps. Not always looking at this screen that you're looking at. I'm looking at the cash gap on the ETFs because most people are not trading the futures. They are interested in the cash gap. So we're looking for efficiency across the board on the ETFs, right? Where the options chains will want to close for hedges. This is looking fantastic. Here's the gap fill starting to play out now, all right, into this line right here. And you're seeing some bids come in front of it, all right? So this is the efficiency line. This is where the market becomes efficient. If they do something like this, we're going to think about bullish, or a W, or an inverted head and shoulders, then we're going to flip to bullish. If they fail under this and keep rejecting, we might have a nice trend move lower. Looking great here, team. So that early move paying out lovely here, all right? So we were in this for the rejections, all right? Rejecting this for a rotation into this. Nice and simple. Now pay yourself a little bit, hold your runners. So 1 for 1 to start the day. Hopefully lots of you are in this. Make sure you're paying yourself some money. Okay, the ETFs have a little bit further to go to close the gap. They do have a bit further to go. We have now taken out previous day low here. No worries, Andrew. Lovely, Peter. Look at this. Same guys who turn up every day making money. Out half at the algo. Yeah, very nice, Ryan. Very, very nice. Still think this can move lower to close the gap. QQQ has now closed the gap. SPY and the ES have not closed the gap. So the Qs are completely efficient. The rest of the market is not quite efficient yet, but it can become very, very efficient very quickly. I'm just in a runner left right now, looking to see if we can wash. Fantastic. How low can we go? Looking good. Just in runners here. As soon as that SPY and ES become efficient, I'll be risk off here. 6132 for the ES is looking where it's trying to move to. That would be the gap fill. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Almost there, team. Almost there. ES just needs to do a little bit more. 6132 is currently trading at 6134. 2 more points. And the ES will be efficient. If it then wants to go for previous day low, we've got another 10 points of wash in the ES. But look at the market, trying to find some bids because it knows it's filled that gap. So who caught that with me? W's in chat. If you caught that with me, lots of you should have caught that, I think. Andrew caught the move. Peter Curry caught the move. Ryan, Jeff, Clint, BU, Glenn Keogh, Ryan Keogh. Love it. The Irish boys killing it. Leron, Vince, Christy W, Miguel, Marek, Indicator, Andrew H, Stephen W, Myron. Love it, team. Great work. Great work. So you got to ask yourself, do you need to be here anymore? That was actually a very nice trade, wasn't it? We go into a sell while I'm talking. We get the bear flag. We get stuck at view up. We get stuck at flow zones. We get stuck at the New York Open, and we have a clear target. Boom. There's your target. Can easily be done for the day. If you're a one and done type character, you can easily be done for the day right now. Right, that's a decent move. I don't know where you guys took it, but somewhere in here offered you a pretty decent move. 50, 60, 70 point move. If we stay heavy against this now, it opens the door for a rotation to previous day point of control and this level down here. The only thing you've got to watch is the SPY and the ES. They didn't quite fill the gap. They're finding some bids. But if they're going to let this go, it can keep moving lower. But really, we got the best move of the day here. We've already got the best move. Starting to tap back into sort of previous day low and that gap fill. So if it starts to reclaim this, then potential that it sets that squeeze to go back higher. There's still some bidding on the tape lower towards 150. You should have really locked, 90% in right now or 70% in. If we keep rejecting here, we can think about a new trade for continuation. It's a little bit early. I've still got that one runner on. I would love to see us move lower here. Maybe could have added on that rejection, if I'm totally honest, but looking good. Looking good. I want it to stay heavy versus 180 right now. I don't even want it to come back to previous day low. ES getting very, very close now. Another point or so. Come on, half of you haven't hit the like button. I gave you an absolute freebie this morning for at least 50 points. Smash that like button. Share this stream with your friend. Let's help grow this community. So ES, SPY getting very, very close. Right, the key level on the SPY, those trading the ETFs, is sort of 609.70. If it fails 609.70, you can expect a rotation to 609.08 or so. On the ES, you're looking for it to trade into 6132. All right, then it's filled the gap. If it fails that and it goes for previous day low, 6121. Right, I'm not going to hold on above here. If it trades above here, I'm not interested because it can be this move then for that rotation back up. I can always reattack it. Right? If it wants to form a new bear flag up here and gives this and then starts failing, I can always get back in later. I don't need to hold on to this. Lock in like just under $1,000 to start the day. That will do. Treating this like a Monday morning. Right? Treating this like a Monday morning. We've got 8 more minutes here. Move this mic in my way a little bit. 8 more minutes until we get a new hourly candle. Look at the old hourly candle. Look at what we've just done. All right, be aware of this. All right, so set this top here, fail back down, clean out all these stops, come to old value area high. All right, so it's testing this level, old value area high. Does it find bids here to come back into point of control or value area low? Does that sell all the way back down, or are we in a reclaim going higher? Remember, this can be a stop run to go higher. High time frame narrative is higher right now. The issue we have, we don't want to buy right up towards the top Bollinger Band. We talk about this. It does not like to close above this. No close, no close, no close above it, no close below it. All right, this is sort of max level. It might be one of the days that does it. Very, very few and far between. And we have big supply here, right, from the old highs. So we don't want to be a buyer up there. So we're looking, oh, don't want to do that. We're looking for rotation lower to then think about buying. I would not mind, like I talked about at the beginning of stream, I would not mind a 2-day pullback. A 2-day pullback would be fantastic. It's unlikely, but it would be very, very nice. All right, so stopping out. Sorry, about 2 minutes ago while I was flicking over the screens. And let's see what we do here then. If we start building liquidity here, all right, you need to be very careful. All right? Because this can be the drive all the way back up, take out these stops into all-time high territory. So we've been efficient. We've closed the gap. Didn't close it on the ES or the SPY. We got very, very, very close though. So I'm sort of going to treat it like a gap fill, but we didn't actually do it. The ES missed it. It came down to a low of 6133.50 and it needed to get to 6132. So it was 6 ticks away from doing it. So I'm risk off now, letting the market shake out. We've got a new hourly candle coming in 6 minutes. All right, so either this builds that inverse head and shoulder to go all the way back up towards the all-time high and supply, or it rejects, right? Or it rejects this. Boom, boom, boom. So we're either looking for this and a breakdown to go lower, or dum, 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 build some liquidity all the way up. In theory, we stay lower and we protect this. This is current trend on the day. All right, we protect this, but if we chop through this, this is the squeeze opportunity. This is shorts pain up here. New York Open basically is shorts pain. I'm going to change this to like a light pink for now, just so we're not confused. So we've taken out 2 days worth of overnight session now as well. You look at the London Asia. All right, we've taken out Friday. I think this is Friday. Is this Friday? So Sunday, sorry, and last night. So Monday and Tuesday all got taken out. All the late buyers got taken out. Wash them out. If we want to reclaim, we can. If we reject up here, we come back lower. So that makes sense to everyone, why we were looking at these this morning, why I wanted to let it shake out and then join. I'm always looking to join once it shakes out, once it tells me, okay, this is what we're going to do. Not looking to guess that first move in the morning. The only time I play, like, you know, the first opening bell move is when there's very, very clear that shorts are already stuck and we're looking for a big drive higher and I want to get in on it. Or the other way around, you know, where bulls are really, really stuck and we're looking for a really big pro trend lower. Otherwise, I'll let it shake out, let it get through that first couple minutes of the imbalance, and then go from there. Getting through the chat, sorry team, catching up here. Yeah, lots of you made lots of money there. Umalabi, Jesse M, Andrew G, Calypso, Trentry, no worries. Stephen W, done for the day, love it. Andrew H, done, will not touch this again, love it. See how simple it can be. TradeView glitched out on me, went down 900, thinking about staying in to go long. Any advice here? Yeah, don't do that. Like, if something goes wrong, take it off straight away. You can always get back in. Andrew G, maybe a huge down day. I mean, nothing to prove it yet. I think a big down day will come on news. It seems unlike when we're talking about a huge down day. We might have a trend day down to retest some levels, but a huge day will need some news. Nice trend tree. So just see. Right now, really, your range for the session is here to here. Right, that's all you're in right now. 100-point range. If we reject this, we retest the lows. If we get through those lows, we get trend continuation back down. Right? If we hold in here, we get pivot up. If we hold in here, pivot up. So we are in range in here so far in the New York session. That's our range. Remember, we've already come and taken out all the liquidity we needed to from an hourly point of view. That move through 220 was, you know, really taking out most of those buyers who were trapped the last 2 days. Now, if it wants to move back down into 22,130 and below, it can, but it's not showing me a reason to think it's going to do that right now. So this is the play here. How we act here. Remember, this is where we rejected from is key. If we reject, we retest lows. If we chop and reclaim, we open up squeeze. Short pain is here. This is the short stops. They cover, we go all the way back up. If they protect this, we retest. The only thing I'd say is ES and SPY did not close the gap. Right? They did not close the gap. If the market wants to be efficient, it will want to close the gap. Jimbos, they're not really off a time frame, mate. Like, it doesn't matter what they're on. Most of the levels I look at are hourlies, but you know, if I'm drawing an hourly level, it will show the same on every time frame, you know. Key level. But the easiest way to draw them is probably on an hourly or a 15-minute chart. Right, so this is becoming key here. Does it break down? Does it hold this level? Where's my volume gone? I do want to see that. So back towards previous day low. ES looks like it wants to close the gap. That's what's doing this move, I'd say, more than anything. ES looks like it wants to close the gap. It has not been fully efficient yet. Remember, if they fail to get a breakdown lower, that's where the shorts are going to get trapped. The reason I'm not taking this right now is we've had the easy move down to there. I would rather just let this do its thing for a little bit now. The easy move was from here to here. All right, easy move. We don't know if this wants to move lower yet. We don't know if it's going to trap here yet. Trend would say we should move lower, but just because we've filled that gap and we've been efficient, I'm a little cautious. I'd rather let it shake out a little bit longer and then join if one side is definitely stuck. There is a bigger buyer coming on at the tape at 22,150, right, which would be that breakdown level underneath. That would probably allow the ES to close the gap if it got down there. ES getting pretty close now. Just needs like 3 more points to do it. The big levels here on the SPY and the ES. Do they close the gap? Do they find bids once they've closed the gap or not? So those flow zones holding price down, previous day high, holding price down, previous day high, flow zones, everything holding price down. If you were shorting this, I would be taking some off the table here, right? Because this is where shorts will get trapped. If they wash this, then you've got runners for a bigger move. ES now closed the gap, all right? ES and the SPY have now both closed the gap. How they act now is key. Do they want to go to previous day low, or was this the market trying to be efficient and we're going to go back up? Would I consider support 165 significant? Like this wick? No, not particularly, Ryan. Not particularly. It's just a break structure. We should break under there if we're going to have continuation, right? The market should do this all the time. It's protecting this. Should break under. The only thing that was putting me off was the ES. There's the break. Wow. So I'm still watching ES here around those previous day close levels, watching to see if they absorb these PDC levels and go for previous day low or not. I don't mind joining in if it's going to prove to me that it wants to stay heavy. You just got to be very cautious. That 150 on the tape, he's still there looking to get filled, like a 50 lot down there. If they're going to get really heavy, all pops should now fail. If they're going to get really heavy, all pops should fail. Watching previous day low here on the ES and the SPY. So here they go. They're coming back towards previous day close here on the ES and SPY. How they act here is key. Like I said, if they've just washed underneath to be efficient and they reclaim, can move higher. If we're going to stay heavy, then this pop here should fail. If we're going to stay heavy. It's a big if right now in this market. So PDC, SPY starting to reclaim it. ES not quite there, but pretty close. Neither of them got to PDL. We're going to get trend continuation. This pop should fail if we're going to get trend continuation lower. Watching to see if there's a scalp opportunity here for a new bear flag and breakdown. Extended from those flow zones right now. Some sellers on the tape a little bit higher. Liquidity very thin. New hourly bar here, new 4-hour bar. Think about that. Think about what that means. Where those exchange levels were on the previous hour. Previous hour low was 165. You'd sort of want to see it stay heavy against that area. Otherwise, a drive up to 200 is very, very possible very, very quickly here based on the hourly chart. Yeah, 1020. Is that San Francisco Fed? Did I see that? Or was that 10 o'clock and then daily's 1020? Maybe you're right. Trying to remember off the top of my mind. So PDC here on the ES and the SPY. So either a new bear flag and all pops fail, or this is where they trap the shorts and we just drift higher now. Big, big levels that I keep talking about. These are big, big levels. The last hourly bar was big. If it wants to come all the way back to 266, it can do so if it really, really wants to. And it wouldn't be that far, right? That range is not like ginormous. So either this pop fails or they catch shorts at these lows. Liquidity on the books pretty thin. Doesn't look crazy good. Mag 7 trying to go green. It's a mixed bag there. Tesla 0.5% up. Nvidia 1.3% up, giving some back. Microsoft 0.19% up. Apple just gone red to green, green to red. Amazon almost a percent down. Google 0.2% down. Meta 2% down. Meta selling a little bit today, a bit profit taking in Meta right now. So like I'm saying, if this is going to be a new bear flag, they will need to break it down and they will be looking to test out this and this if they're going to do it. Waiting to flow zones to like sort of catch up a little bit here and see if it's going to break down if pops fail. The one thing I'm watching, like I keep saying, is the ES and the SPY at that previous day close level. It is a big, big level. If they find bids in and around there and enough shorts get trapped underneath, there is squeeze potential. If they want to fail that, right, they want to keep selling that, they can go for those previous day low levels. So either a bear flag to break down here on that PDC and we go lower, in which case I'll join smaller size because we're a bit more extended in this session now. Or it doesn't do it and we're going to go squeeze higher and then I'm going to wait. If we're going to go squeeze higher, I'm going to wait for some form of liquidity to be built around here. Right, same thing over and over again. This is shorts pain is up here. And that hourly, if it wants to come all the way back up towards 66s, top of the range, it can do so. Remember, we had a big hourly down. We've extended. If it reclaims, it can get into there very, very quickly on the hourly. Remember, the pro trend technically is higher until proves otherwise. The pro trend, the higher time frame trend. This was a pullback early morning. Books very, very thin. It feels like everyone's sort of almost done for the day already. So hourly exchange into 200. So 200, 220 is going to become key through that all the way to 260 very, very quick. ES starting to reclaim now those levels. SPY has not had a 5-minute close underneath PDC. All right, it whipped under it and reclaimed it instantly. So how we act here starts to become key. Here's the flow zones. We can think about this as a leg, small leg. How we act here is key. We start to reclaim it. The squeeze starts to become more and more probable. If we stay heavy versus this level, we can start to break down. I'm going to get rid of that. I think we need that now. So either bear flag here versus flow zones versus PDC here, PDC. Bear flag here or reclaim and squeeze. Booker's really looking a bit naff, is the best way of putting it. Like the biggest orders I can see are sort of 20 lots. There's a 50 lot up at 237. Buyer got filled down at 150, and there's nothing of size really underneath. Possible we go into range rotation here if they don't start expanding down towards that previous day point of control. If we don't break down here and retest this or this, then it's very, very possible that we go into range rotation and build liquidity for the next move coming later in the week. Look at this hourly. Where can we go if we fail? If we fail, most of the volume is into 130 if we fail. Yeah, ES and SPY have reclaimed those previous day closes. Morning, Tyson. Yeah, gold will be at 3,000 before we know it, won't it? Amazing. Like every time I look at gold, I'm looking for like a big wash to try and buy it long term. It just doesn't give it. Incredible strength the last year and a half or so. Here we go. So potential bear flag here. I am watching this to participate in. Do not want to get stuck at the lows here. Watching ES very, very closely here. I do think these are key levels, these previous day closes on the ES. Still think there is a chance for it to move lower if it wants to towards previous day low. But we're sort of becoming that bouncing ball, which is doing less of a big move. Big move, pullback. Big move, pullback. Smaller move, smaller pullback. So either we come down into these or we start reclaiming. I do not want to be trapped here. We've had a decent morning already. I think this was the best move of the day so far. What I don't want to do is get trapped here versus this. At the moment, it's sort of trying to hold this to force this move. It's almost like one more push and a big failure and a roll would almost be easier to trade. But I am watching this in case it offers it again. Nice risk here against PDC and flow zones if it's going to do it, but just letting this shake out so far. Yeah, comrade, but like a one-day tank is not enough for me to buy long-term in gold. When you zoom out on a daily, it's nothing. I'm talking about like buying long-term, not trading it. versus being in and out there all the time. I don't really want to watch it. Just as a nice trade-off. And same with the ETFs, really. Looking for that 10% market pullback, 10+%, but just won't come. So ES, SPY is still around those key levels. Still not trading this. Just letting this shake out. We've had one nice trade this morning already. Think about this 4-hour candle a second. Let's have a look. I'd say, yeah, 200 is very key. 200 and then 240 now really become the levels on the 4-hour. So we go. Shorts might have got caught there at the lows again while ES was reclaiming previous day close. So how we act here is important. All right. So if we do this and fail and roll, it will offer something. Otherwise, shorts pain is right here. This can be a squeeze all the way back up. Shorts definitely got caught there. So ES filled the gap, finding a drive off that gap now. So sellers all the way up at 220 and 240, which I think are the levels we just talked about. 220s is 240. Yeah, 240 point of control on the session. Which is also around VWAP. So previous day point of control, current session point of control, New York Open all around up here. This is a big, big level if it can get up there. So decent 15-minute wick here with another minute left. How we close here is important. Five minutes starting to sort of create this W kind of look. All right, so shorts pain is here. We trade through that. You can think about some of these levels back here to back test if it can get up there. Yeah, for the gap fill into 1560, you mean, dude? Or you mean all the way down into sort of 1480, Coop? Some liquidity starting to come back on the book now. There was like no liquidity on the book for a while, which was odd. Yeah. I agree, Coop. But like some orders, the last few minutes starting to show themselves on the book, right? So limit orders higher looking to get filled. 220, 225, and then through that 240. Those are the levels they're looking to drift the market up to back test. How we at there is important. I'm just letting this do what it needs to do for a little bit. That's one decent trade on stream already. I'd prefer a move lower, but I do not want to be part of this short in the lows, getting caught for it to drift higher, which has been the market sentiment for the last 3 weeks so far. This is back testing and trying to hold now. So on a very low time frame, it's trying to put in low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low on a very low time frame. On everything else, right, this is your lower high, this is the lower low. So if we do this, we break down here. If it holds these, squeeze potential up. It's a little bit tricky while it figures it out. The main issue is that I'm just watching that higher time frame narrative right now. We can build out some liquidity here sideways for a bit versus 90s. There's a possible move lower, like we said. I don't mind if it does this and this in a roll. This becomes key, like the range in there. Last failure up into here. Probably key there, showing its hand a little bit. ES looks like it's going to break down here and go for previous day low. If it can stay heavy versus previous day close. Again, don't want to get caught short in the lows here. The next pop fails, though. It gives me a bit more confluence. Let's look at this book. There's not a whole lot of orders lower. That's the one thing. And the low-hanging fruit for us is gone. The only thing we can really aim for right now is previous day point of control and into here, previous day low, and this blue box where we found support before. We are starting to taper a little bit here. Do still think there's a potential short, but we're definitely starting to taper. Right, we've gone from steep to less steep to less steep to sideways. And treating this like a Monday. The book is really weird, like how they're jostling and moving. I think they're also a little bit confused because There is very, very small orders on this book today, and they're just jostling and moving them around. They've left some orders at 225, but it's a 30 lot and then a 24 lot and a 25 lot. It's not like big size in the book this morning. There's not a lot happening, not much news today to move the market either. Yes, trying to reclaim again. That PDC is absolutely key. Look at the spiders. Every time it comes towards that previous day close, it's finding a bid so far. If they let go of that, we go for previous day low on the SPY. It's definitely a big level. We've been here for quite a while now, really. We've been here since before 10 o'clock. So a good 20 minutes. Most of the volume done in this range the last 20 minutes. Failed above, failed below. Tested edge, tested edge. Most of the volume being built in here right now. One side will get stuck here sooner rather than later. And then it will give a move. If bulls keep bidding this and we start breaking down, we'll get a flush moment. If sellers keep shorting the lows and it starts to reclaim levels, we'll get that squeeze. That's what's happening right now. One or the other. I favor the downside. I don't even mind joining this for that head and shoulder kind of look if it's really going to go for it, which we're starting to do now. Small size here. Let's just see. Let's just see. Don't want to get caught. We need to stay heavy really versus 83s for a breakdown. Already locked in really good money this morning. Not in a rush to force any size here. You need a break of structure here. It needs to come and make a new low. Failure to do that, shorts will get trapped. Right, but this was the move. If you rewind, I said if it does this, when we were here, I was like, if it gives another leg and a fail and then gets stuck, then maybe this move can allow it to roll back down. A roll rather than just a complete failure. This push into this was like the signature. If they start reclaiming this level, any reclaim through here is not a good look. Again, ES trying to reclaim PDC again. Big level. I'm actually coming risk off here just to wait again. Nine minutes left until we get that initial balance. Much smaller again today. So a few days now we're starting to have initial balances be a little bit smaller. Currently at 119 points. All right, still decent. But previously we've been at like 250, 300 points initial balances. What does that tell you? Market starting to consolidate. Right, can't just keep moving higher and higher and higher every session. At some point it needs to consolidate to build liquidity. Today feels like one of those days. Right, we came from a daily look. Remind yourself where you are on the daily. Remind yourself where you're on the daily. Above the Bollinger, top Bollinger, failed the supply, trading back inside. I would love to see us come all the way down here or even down here, right? These are RBS levels we can back test to then go higher. Doesn't mean we have to do that today, but I would love to see something like a 2-day pullback like one and maybe down into this and then buy it back for a slingshot up towards the end of week or next week. That would make total sense to me. That would be a healthy market doing that. See how much harder it is once low-hanging fruit goes. So much harder once the low-hanging fruit goes. Still think this is possible. They're stuck versus this. To here is possible. A lot is dependent on the ES right now. Can that pull the market down? Because you've got a mixed look in the Mag 7. Amazon 1.2% down. Google 0.2% down. Meta 2.5% down. But then you've got Nvidia 1.6% up. Tesla 0.18% up. Microsoft basically hanging on, and Apple hanging on. All right, so a complete mixed bag. You need some of the breadth in the other market to show weakness. If it doesn't show weakness, it starts to reclaim. Previous day point of control. 131. 130. This right here, 130. This one right here. The one above it, the other overnight session, sort of is at 2. You might as well call it 240. This one up here. This is really like overnight, but I left it as previous date just because I'm treating this like a Monday. So really, the volume is between here and here. And in the session, we're starting to build a lot of volume out here. Anyone watching the tape and the level 2, whether you're watching that on your DOM or you're watching it on Bookmap or anything else, you will see it's really, really slowed down. The order flow is really slowed down. They even they're starting to like reduce that order size up at 220. Like, there are not many traders interested in trading today. Not right now. The action on the book's telling me there's not much happening right now. I really think so far in this session, we've got that best move for sure. Yeah, no worries, Ryan. Starting to taper, isn't it? Think about this. Why is that? This is definitely starting to taper. So where will shorts get in trouble? So if we can get above these levels and you leave shorts exposed down here, up here, all the time we're under these levels, potential rotation. Think about where we took our position this morning. Versus supply, versus VWAP, versus flow zones. Nice easy risk for low-hanging fruit trade. Since then, we've really gone sideways. We are making lower highs and lower lows. Not yet for a new lower low, but we are trying to make them. Let's put it that way. We're trying to make them. If it wants to do it, it's going to come down here. Previous day low, previous day point of control. Big demand down here. We got the easiest move for sure. Maybe starting to try and have another look at the breakdown here. Still rejecting flow zones. We know it's been unable to snap the lows so far today. It's shown an unwillingness to do it so far today. Here we go. Maybe now. Maybe now you get that breaker structure. That next pop fails versus 70s. I think you look good. Starting to wash. So thinking about that previous day point of control down here. Right, previous day point of control and demand. Right, so if you're in any of these shorts, you're thinking about covering and covering some in here. Market's starting to go red now. Starting to go red. Apple's starting to sell. Microsoft's starting to sell a little bit. Nvidia, the only Mag 7 now green. Everything else starting to give back. Just in this a little bit of small size. Just in case we go for a big washeroo. Trimming a bit here. If the next pop fails, then I feel good about maybe sticking a bit more on versus 70s. Like I said, if it starts reclaiming, I want to be very, very careful if it starts reclaiming these levels into previous day point of control here. We're right here. All right, we're right here now. Now they're starting to stack the book. Small numbers, like 20 and 30 lots, into around 125 to 120s. All right, so previous day point of control right here, right now. Nice, Ryan. Right, so cover some. If you took any of these, make sure you're covering a bit and then hold some for this move down here. Do not add back above this, all right? This is not an add zone back above this. This is an area where you might get trapped. Right, so you're looking to cover some here into previous day point of control and cover some here into this blue box. This is previous day low, this green line. Nice healthy pullback here on the hourly chart. And maybe it drifts lower. If it really, really wants to, it'd be very nice. See that volume here at previous day point of control. Definitely a level. Yeah, exactly, Tyson. I mean, small scalps is all we can really do today. Remember, this range is small. We're going to get the initial balance in the next 30, 40 seconds. And we're in a 137-point range, so you have to lock in a bit more today. We're not in a pro-trend day. Remember, we're in a pullback leg right now. So it's much harder to hold for big, big targets because the pullback leg is going to be much, much smaller. Right, so I'll remind you all, the market has been doing this for the last few weeks. And what we're in right now is this leg here. These legs are smaller than these legs, right? So this is a pullback leg to then get long, unless we're going to shift trend on the higher time frame and be backside for a fade back down on a higher time frame. Right now, there's nothing to say we're doing that. Nothing to say we're backside right now on a higher time frame. Daily, weekly, monthly, even at, I mean, hourly-ish is coming to just back test these key levels into these blue boxes. Right, so we expect the hourly to find some bids around here or here. If the hourly then starts to get stuck, right, where this will change is if the hourly does this and then makes a lower high and a lower low, then we're like, oh, okay, we're backside. Maybe the market's had enough. I don't think that will happen yet. All right, I think that NQ will want to make new all-time highs before it does that. It did do it on the ETFs, like we said, the first thing we said this morning. It did do it on the ETFs. We have new all-time highs on the ETFs. The NQ is the only market not to do it. The QQQ already did it. Yeah, initial balance now set. You're right. So initial balance is right at, you can barely see this purple line, but it's right at the previous day point of control. So failed auctions will be like this or like this for a rotation towards VWAP. Auctions will be like this underneath. Do you know what I'm going to do as well? I'll put an anchor on for you from that 930 print. This one. Okay, this is your anchor off the 930 print. Oh, we should have put that on earlier, shouldn't we? I'm going to do it as light blue, just so we know that's the 930 anchor. So if we get a rotation from IB, we're going to look for a rotation into here and then maybe the other VWAP. Should have put that on earlier. That would have really helped with these sells. My bad, team. I should just do that every day. Every single day. So I know it's hard to think about this, but really we're just in a bit of a box. We'll just take the flow zones off for a second. Go to like 10-minute. Right, all we're doing is back testing where we came from. Here was sort of the breakout zone. Right, we know buyers are in here. We broke out, pulled back, got stuck. We're pulling back to that area. Do they come back in here for a rotation? If we fail this, we're going to go lower. Why? What is up? Trading views been so bad the last week. Never had problems till the last week. Let's just messed it up again. There we go. So you're right at that IB low and the previous day point of control. Big, big, big level there. Big, big, big level. So if we break down and we auction lower, we know where we're going to go. Coming down into these blocks. I don't love a short here until it shows me it wants to reject. Because we can hold the IB, hold point of control, we can failed auction and go. It needs to sort of prove to me it wants to go lower right now. Otherwise, I'm shorting very low in the session. When we think about where supply was, where the best shorts were today, although momentum is not too bad, the location down here is terrible now, right? To get to here, it's not good. Whereas from here to here was good, good RR. So I'm not really keen on pulling a new short now. Structure-wise, we look good. We're just lower lows, lower highs for now in this session. I might just get a refill of coffee here, team. Be back in just a moment. We'll go again. All right, we back. So still stuck at flow zones. It's still trying to build a potential bear flag. But like we talked about, we're right at that previous day point of control. We're right at the initial balance low. This is not an area I want to short in right now. Right, the risk reward for me is not ideal. So doesn't mean you have to do the same, but these are rules that I like to stick to. Even though I think this has the possibility of breaking down lower. I'm watching the ES try and reclaim, right? It's trading inside its initial balance and it's reclaimed previous day close. Right, so if it starts to put a squeeze on here, the ES can go back towards VWAP. That'll be rotation from IBL to VWAP. So I'm just being cautious here. Don't really fancy shorting in the hole on the NQ when it might just start to do this move to here and then maybe here. ES right now is up here, right? It's over previous day close, as a reminder. We have divergence across the markets. Like ES is basically flat on the day. NQ is 0.2% down on the day. RTY is 0.27% up. YM is 0.11% down. You have a mixed bag. Dixie is up on the day. VIX is up on the day. VIX is up 3.38% on the day. Gold is up in the day. Like we're in like a nice broad market, which is making a bit of indecision right now. Alex the Great. Morning 60-hour trader. How are you, my friend? So I know this is a bit more of a boring stream, okay? This is what happens sometimes. We get that consolidation. We have to wait for the next move. There will be some big moves coming later in the week, whether that's a drive to all-time highs or a complete failure and rollover. All right, so we have to build liquidity. So starting to taper like we talked about. Remember, failed auction will be an absorption of here or a failure underneath and a trade back inside. That would be the failed auction. Auction lower will be something like this, get stuck and down into here and here. Those are your two plays. If you're looking to participate right now, those are the two plays you should be thinking about. If we start reclaiming like these imbalances and driving through and getting through here and basing and holding, squeeze starts to become more and more possible. If enough shorts get caught down here in the hole, the squeeze will become more and more possible. Ryan, do you think it's important to know the traits of each individual candle, like the printable poster you have on the course, for example, a hammer and a doji? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. All you need to think about, Ryan, to make it really easier is long wicks underneath is buying absorption. So if we have a long wick underneath and we start to move upside, shorts probably chase this, buyers absorbed it, and we move up. Long wicks on top, okay, is sellers absorption. So if we're driving up and we get these long wicks on top, sellers are trying to force the market lower, buyers can't do anything. Once we break down, we flush. That's all you really need to know. And then I think about inside bars. But these patterns become better and better as you move up the time frames. Yeah, so if we think about, we've got time here just quickly. If we think about the daily, all right, when we see this and this and this, we know sellers are caught in these wicks, right? Because buyers are absorbing and absorbing. So this is telling us we want to move higher. Yeah, so the higher the time frame, the better the pattern. It's much, much more powerful in a higher time frame. I think on a lower time frame, it's almost better to just look at these levels. Okay, so here was supply. This is where we broke down from. From here, what are we going to do? Come and test this. This is SBR right here. Support becomes resistance, comes back in, resistance, break of structure. Okay, where's the next level? Here. This is SBR again. Support becomes resistance, breakdown, and then we get that micro head and shoulder. If you go back to the chart when we were at like 10 o'clock this morning, I talked about this playing out here was probably an easier short back down. So it's almost better to play levels on lower time frame, right? And then let it prove to you, let it fail. So if you had this level marked out as a level of interest when we were here, when we broke down, say you came in here and it did a big wick and then came back down, that's a good indication, right? Sellers are still there. I feel confident about taking a short lower. But remember, it's like you're not going to see the wicks on a line chart, but you're going to see the levels better. So on a line chart, levels, 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 levels right now. Reclaiming this, we're going to go attack this one, this one, this one, this one, if possible. Still getting stuck at that trend right now, but it's feeling a little bit more like it wants to attempt to reclaim this kill candle. This will be pain for shorts if it does this move here. Not in anything yet. I'm not thinking long yet because it hasn't proven anything to me. Still can be a breakdown, but the breakdown under here will be better. I'm not going to trade this short in front of the IBL. I was on the wrong chart. Jesus. Did I just teach that all on the wrong chart for you? Well, the wicks are the candle types, right? So the signatures on that chart pattern we do on the course, like a hammer and a doji, they're all to do with the wicks and the size of the candle. Yeah, so long wicks underneath, buyers are holding up. Long wicks on top, sellers are holding it down. But I'd focus more on the levels on the lower time frame. Right? Support becomes resistance. We trade back up to it. We find resistance. This is a new support becomes resistance zone. Trade away. We trade back up to it. We find resistance. We trade micro head and shoulders here that we talked about at 10 o'clock because I'd rather see and prove that it's going to fail. And we check this long wick telling you sellers are still there. We move down. No long wicks now. And there's no long wicks now in this game right now. There's not much volume in here in general. Now what I'm thinking about is this kill candle and this trend and this here. They protect this and they reclaim. We can go IB low to VWAP up to VWAP up, and we can go and try and attack where the pain would be. If they keep rejecting up here, there is a trend lower continuation play. But like we said, I don't want to take this here to here. I'd rather let it fail and then do it. But days like this are where I'm just really, we had the best move early on. I'm now just chilling. There is nothing for me to like really come and attack here. I'm watching the hourly levels. We're coming back to the last hourly low. So you want to talk about wicks? Let's think about this. Where did buyers absorb in the previous hour? Here. If we stay heavy versus here, these buyers become sellers, we go down. If we start reclaiming these levels on an hourly, we can reprice this. Much more interested on the wicks on like hourly charts. Would a 1 period MA be identical to a line chart? Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I tell people to do. If you don't have space for another line chart, put a 1 MA on. All right, it would make you see the patterns really clearly, because a 1 MA on this, especially if you're on a higher time frame, will just be like this. It's ignoring all the wicks. It's just doing the open and closes. Right, so you can see quite clearly the chart's making lower highs and lower lows. And if it starts to reclaim, you know where it's going to want to go. Where is the liquidity? Where's the pain point? We always think about the pain point. Yeah, 1 MA, very, very good way of doing it if you don't have room for a line chart and you're trying to study. Al Brooks, yeah, his stuff's very good on candle structure. Most of the time, I'm looking for inside bars and rejections, right? Inside bars and rejections. That's how we cause pain in a market. Look at ES looking like it wants to go from IBL to VWAP. Never printed underneath IBL. Went to IBL, reclaimed PDC. It wants to try and get to VWAP if it can. So short's pain right now on the ES is at 6,137.37. If it trades through that, it will get to VWAP at 40. If it trades through that, it can go back up to IB high. If it keeps rejecting 37, then we're just in range rotation of a 10-point range on the ES. Range today is smaller. Okay, the range today is smaller. We're in consolidation because we're not in a pro trend. We are in a pullback leg on the higher time frame. So it's not like we've got huge short sellers coming to market. There's a bit of profit taking, and then buyers are waiting. Does it get to a level where they want to add back on for that return back higher? So they're trying to do bear flag to come back down and test the IBL. Remember, if we expand under IBL, we can think about that next move down. If we trap under IBL, we can think about that next move higher. That's what I'm waiting to see right now. I'm just waiting to see what happens. Not in a huge hurry, but that last drive higher, right? Think about this. I'm going to draw this out for you. Ryan, as you just said it, that last drive higher was into sort of 70s, okay? Where did we just reject on the hourly? Let's go to the hourly. This wick, 65.70s. All right, so this is where buyers tried to absorb. They failed. We come back up to them. They start selling again. All right, so that's why I'm saying that hourly is really, really key always. Gives good context. This level here was where buyers on this candle transition tried to absorb it. All right, and we failed underneath, and now they just got out break even, causing a sell back down on an hourly. Those traders trading hourly structure, they are the ones that just sold there. Back to IBL. Either auction lower or failed auction here. One or the other. Range is still pretty tight. A bit more volume picking up here. Got to feel like buyers got a little bit trapped here. Look at that volume. Uptick in volume. Back down to previous day point of control. We know these are big levels. I'm just waiting to see what the market wants to do. I don't care if it wants to move higher or lower. I will join when it's finished messing about. We have big divergence in the market here. ES is nowhere near its IBL right now. It's holding on above previous day close. All right, so ES is up here above previous day close. assuming we've got some nice breadth in the market. Assuming the other sectors look good. Let's have a quick look. Drag this over. So financials, okay, financials are not in the queues, are green as a sector. Real estate green, industrials green, healthcare mixed bag. But tech, you can see Google, Meta, AVGO, Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple flat, Tesla, red. So they're dragging the queues down versus what we have here in financials and some of these energy sectors, etc., all green. They're holding the SPY up. Still think the book looks pretty weird today. Pretty weird. There is some selling coming in a bit higher now. 160, 175, 190. Some sellers on the table in the last minute or so. Starting to appear. ES just in a very, very tight range. VIX trying to hold its gains. QQQ holding its IBL. Again, even the Qs really were in a 30-40 point range down here. All right, this is current range. We either break down and trend lower, or we do this for the move up. I'm not going to buy these yet. There is a play here. There is an argument to do that, to buy versus this, but I just think it's at least going to sweep this before it even thinks about going higher, and it can very easily do this. Trend is very, very down. Look, multi-time frame trend down on this session, making lower lows and lower highs. No reason to try and guess the bottom right now. Expecting this to come down here. If it doesn't do it, that's where shorts get stuck. Definitely don't want to be guessing bottoms, even in range rotation. ES has relative strength here. Look at it go. ES holding PDC. It can break the top of this sort of micro range at 136. It should go to VWAP. That might drag the NQ up with it. No worries, Ryan. Hope you're good, mate. Go and have a good day. Stomach is rumbling. Fasting off food this morning. Tell you what, I'm weighing in just under 100 kilos. I'm arguably the strongest I've ever been. And yesterday I went and did a 5K run. Oh my gosh, did my ankles feel it afterwards? Carrying like an extra ton of weight in muscle. My ankles were killing afterwards, about an hour afterwards, once it calmed down. Did not enjoy that at all, but still did 5K sub 30 minutes. Not anywhere near my best time, but not surprising. It felt like a slog. Felt like a slog. Determined to get in the shape of my life before I hit 40 this year. Determined to do it. Here goes ES. ES looks like it wants to go and do that rotation up towards VWAP. NQ trying to base out, like we talked about. It's trying to base out now. It's trying to trap shorts here above this, and we can move higher, technically above these. Might want to come and take these guys out. So it's going to go and try and head towards that blue line if it can. That's the anchored VWAP off the open. So if it's going to do the IBL to VWAP, it's going to go for that blue line. Glenn, if I look anywhere near the shape you're in when I hit your age, I'll be very happy. I was thinking about that the other day. Move up in weight class, yeah. So here we go. ES already approaching its VWAP. NQ looking like it might want to start breaking out and going towards it. And once it proves itself, we can think about joining for a squeeze higher. Like now, it's starting to try and wick through. Can it hold its gains? ES getting very close to VWAP. Looks like we're going to go for that squeeze now towards the anchored VWAP, doesn't it? Looks like it wants to do that. So if pullbacks start to absorb here, we're going to look for this move here through this liquidity and this liquidity. This is where the pain point is for shorts. You need to see it hold and turn the squeeze on. And then flow zones, if it's going to do it, should support this move back higher for a range rotation back up. Big volume here on the session right now. This level we're at is big volume. We can hold sort of 70s. Should look good for a squeeze higher. Yes, very close to VWAP now. They're trying to drag it up towards 90s. That's what they're trying to do. Into this blue line and the previous day close. Once we get there, how we at there will be key. Oh, need to do that. Zoom this in for you a bit. So the question is now, can it sort of base around here for this next leg? Into here, and if it gets through that, can it come and take out this guy and this guy? Yes, very close to its VWAP right now. SPY is through its VWAP right now. So again, relative strength in the ES and the SPY, like we just talked about looking at the FinViz. We have breadth in the market where tech is weaker and the other sectors are stronger right now. Trying to squeeze here. Shorts are starting to panic a bit here. Here you go. This is everything we're talking about. Why we don't short near the lows of the initial balance low when we know it's at a very key level. So I'm in this long. I'm just starting to take a little bit of profit now. And I can add in a tiny size because this hasn't proved. What I really want is this. I just grabbed a piece from here to get to here in case it just goes straight up. Reclaimed 170. We said that 170 sort of key right here. This is where most of the volume has been done on the day. If it absorbs this, then I feel good about potentially a re-add. What are you lots talking about in chat? If you live your life right, you'll end up at the orthopedist. If you live your life wrong, you'll end up at the cardiologist. Yeah, that's quite right. Do I have a good pair of running shoes? Yeah, I have a very good pair of running shoes. It's honestly, it's just the extra weight. It's just the extra weight bearing. Ryan. All right, ES at its VWAP, SPY at the above the VWAP. NQ starting to put that squeeze on towards the anchored VWAP, this blue line. That's where it's trying to get to. All right, so it's gone for that rotation. We talk about it all the time. IBL, previous day point of control. These were all here before the session. All right, and now it's trying to get to here. If it holds this, it will come and cause pain for shorts up here in the session. If it rejects this, we come back down towards these. Right, so understanding why wasn't I short in this move? Because I knew that this would want to be protected. I would rather wait, let it reject, and then reshort it. Yes, very strong, all the way back to VWAP now. You can see this is key. Previous day close, algo, anchor VWAP. Through here, pain points are up here. Might need one pullback to prove itself. You would need to see it hold this, hold sort of flow zones to prove itself. This is a short squeeze from here. Trust me, this is a short squeeze. Question is, does it pull back and do buyers come in now? Are they like, okay, let's come deep enough. We're going to buy the rotation and go all the way back up for here. So watching sort of 170-ish, maybe a little bit below that, but that kind of level. I don't think you really want it to drift too much lower than that. This sort of structure here, 150 tops. This sort of structure here is where they will want to hold. Can they hold this? There's the anchored VWAP. Remember, This is the average sell point in this session. Do they hold this to create a higher low and then go for a new higher high and a squeeze? That is the question. If they don't hold it, it's going to go all the way back down to IBL. ES tapping on VWAP and finding some sell there. So same as us. Same as the NQ. NQ tapping on its anchored VWAP, ES tapping on its VWAP, finding some sell structure. How do we act here? This is the key level. We just said that drift back down into 170, the flow zones. Do they absorb this for a run higher? Change shoes every 6 months. Yeah, okay. I don't think I've worn mine enough to validate that, honestly. I'm just a horrible runner. Horrible runner. And cycle for forever and ever and ever, but running painful. So here you go, absorbing 170. Do they create the flag to go back up? Yes, trying to get through its VWAP now. You see that dip, how that soaked? The big question is, can we get through these VWAPs now? As I said, we feel good about adding if it holds 170. Needs to get through VWAP. ES needs to get through VWAP. NQ needs to get through anchored VWAP. We do that, we look golden. Yeah, Coop, exactly. The ES right on VWAP, SPY through its VWAP, holding very, very nicely. Remember, we said that dip down. What is this here? R, B, S. How simple is that? There's your breaker structure. Boom. Held this. Can it absorb this, create some form of flag, or even this if it has to, and then come up and cause pain points up here? That's the question we're asking. To do that, we need ES to get through VWAP just to help us move through these key levels. All right, so nice breadth on the market to help it do it. Meta in a sell today. It's Meta dragging the market down. Meta and Amazon a bit heavier today. They are starting to stack orders above now. 190, 195, 22,200, 22,005. There's your anchored view at that blue line. This is average price of sellers since the open, right here. We change this and make it the average price of buyers. It'd be fun. Let's do a view up off these last two pin lows. Yeah, let's do this one. So as long as we hold this anchor off the low, build liquidity out, I think it can drift higher. Looks good. Looks like it wants to go. It just needs ES to help it out. QQQ now through previous day close. You're looking very, very good here. ES NQ tapping on previous day close. QQQ's already through it. A slight divergence there in terms of positioning. Big levels here though. Big levels. So why are we squeezing? What did this move here fail to do? Fail to break the low. New low, new low. Failed to break the low. There's your W. Trigger point, short cover, held, should drift. Right. Failures to do what it should do is where one side gets stuck. Looks very good here now. ES VWAP here. Still dancing at VWAP here on the ES. Previous day close is this yellow line on the NQ based on the cash. Okay, so based on cash. Nice trades again on stream. These are the same setups we look for every single day pretty much. Trickier day because really what we're looking at is a pullback day. I don't think we could have got much better than what we got today. I really don't. I think a lot of traders really struggled today. Probably a lot of people tried to buy that open and got caught on that gap fill. I'm watching these hourly bars because we are in a new hour bar here. I think a trade, looking at the hourly, like a trade above sort of 206 or so opens up a move towards 237 and possibly all the way up to 265s, just looking at the hourly. We keep failing. If we do a failed break of 208 or 206, right, if we push up and fail there, we might come back down and attack 126. So I'm watching that last hourly bar. I'm watching the wicks and the range in that last hourly bar. We can hold above that last hourly high. We can reprice higher on that kill candle we had at the open. If we wick above it and fail, I'm going to watch the move downside all the way down to the current low of day. So far, it just looks like it wants to bid up here. It wants to attack all these guys. Just be careful if it starts to build like nasty trendline liquidity, because we know it likes to do this move here. Likes to take out the late buyers, sweep, and then go back up. Comrade, I met some of the hottest ladies on a running trail, and that motivates me. Oh, I wouldn't want anyone to see me while I'm running. I think I probably look terrible. Sweaty, bright red in the face, probably mouth breathing, looking awful. It's the last time I'd want anyone to see me. Grunting. Still holding very, very nicely here. ES, though, is underneath its VWAP, right? ES cannot get through its VWAP. It's trying to build a flag. Still putting in some sort of bullish structure here on the ES, but it is stuck underneath its VWAP. Those of you who didn't know, what I did see over the weekend was TraderFi have extended their sale. Right, they've extended the 30% sale on straight to funded, and I can't remember what it is on the other accounts, but it's still pretty good. So if you use code FCT, you'll get a very, very good price on TraderFi. I think they've extended it to the end of the month. It originally finished on the 14th, but I think it's the end of the month. I'll need to double check that. I think that's what it is. Yes, back to VWAP yet again. Trying to build the flag here to put that squeeze on. Can we get a squeeze out here? ES needs to get through its VWAP. Trying desperately to squeeze. Been up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times on the 1 minute chart. What I don't like is this sort of trend line liquidity being built. Just needs to squeeze out violently above. Make sure all the sellers get out of the way first. Otherwise, if we're here too long, it might want to come and sweep out all the late buyers before it then moves up. Oh, nice, Aaron. Thank you. Here's again to do it. So stuck between anchor view up, yellow line, previous day close. where it's stuck right now. It really wants to squeeze higher here. It wants to do it. Same levels as we talked about all morning. Right, 200 all the way up to 220. Through that, it has a squeeze higher potential. You can look at previous day high and VWAP. They're in exactly the same place. Every time it's popping up here, it's finding a couple of sellers, though. I imagine it just puts on a giant squeeze in a minute, just rips higher. Unless someone comes in and markets in big selling, I imagine we just put in like a 10, 20 point, like, poof, candle up. Straight through is what I would imagine soon. It feels like it might be this one here. The only thing I'd be cautious of, like I said, is if they don't do it and they keep doing this, we know the market likes to sweep everyone out before doing it. It needs to put in like a big boner candle higher to run out everyone quickly. Remember, you're looking for the liquidity at 207 and 225. You want to just see that get run. Yeah, still at VWAP. SPY still absorbing above the VWAP. QQQ, not there yet. Not there yet. VIX has closed the gap now. So gap one closed, exactly what Coop talked about earlier. Gap one closed on the VIX. If it's going to get really weak, it can come and close the gap all the way down to 1480s. If it does that, the market should go on a pretty big spike, I would have thought. Just be careful of this trend line liquidity being built. It's not very pretty, but every pullback holding, still feel like it needs to put in just that boner candle higher, come and run everyone out in towards that view up. Dean Winchester in ES, I think that's since 6,136, holding an all-day run at 136. Yeah, if it can get through IB high, I mean, there's a lot of supply up here. IB high, 144, 140, 6,145. If it can get through that, then it has a chance to go up to 157s. It's a big breakdown level, that previous day high, in towards 145, 147. Big level on the ES. What a slow, grindy day. There's just a lack of volume in this market today. Where are the big sell orders? I wouldn't say there's anything big, but they're all like 30 lots. 205, 210, 215, 220, 225. They're not big, though. They're not big lots. We're not talking like 100 lots or anything like that. We're midpoint now of this session. I think we go from IB high to IB low. We're probably around the mid. Yeah, right at the midpoint. There you go. There's the swipe. All right, so that just ran all the stops. That was the move. Hopefully you got some partial through that, because this just ran everyone's stops in here. If it can keep going, we're coming up to here. This is where it wants to move to. It wants to get to here. So failed to make a new low, pivot above, hold inside. Here's your buy. Here's selling. Sell some into here. If it does this, then we can rebuy it once it sweeps out and holds. You must be taking partial off in that last move, and then holding runners for this and this. Well, that was that candle we were talking about. Swipe candle up. Not that big. 15 points or so. Still absorbing, still holding previous day close now. Wanting to see here if ES holds its print above the VWAP here. So SPY is comfortably above the VWAP. Can ES hold a print above the VWAP? Yeah, volume is very low. You can feel it in the tape. You can just feel like we're in a much smaller day. The reason the volume's low is we're not really, just think about a 30-minute. If I was a buyer, where would I really want to be buying? Where would I expect volume to come in? Down here. Or if I'm a buyer, I'm looking for a back test of here. If I'm a fund, I'm looking to buy here or buy here, this move. I'm not buying here. If I'm a seller, is there a reason really to sell yet? Not really. There's a bit of profit taking maybe. So the volume's lower on the counter trend, and then maybe here we get an uptick, or here if we get an uptick. Now here, if we get stuck and we do this, we get big selling volume come in for this move. Right, so all we're doing here is back testing level to level, level to level. We're just back testing between these. We're building liquidity for the rest of the week. Volume will come in here or here. It will come in, but today isn't a day for it to like come into the market. There's no news in this market. Nothing's changed in this market. What is up with TradingView? Look how bad that is. Honestly, coding in it's shocking. Okay, so still holding. ES can't hold a bid above VWAP right now. Like 45 minutes left of this session. Yeah, it's so bad, man. No reason for it to do that. Lost my anchor as well. Put you on. Remember, the key level right now is down here. Needs to hold this to go higher like it did here. If it sweeps this, you can something like that to go higher. If it gets stuck under here, you want to be careful because it's raided 1 level and 2 levels of stops. I still think this can drift higher, but it needs everyone to participate in it for a squeeze higher. Don't think it's like genuine buying or anything. Very much like the last few sessions, you know, it's like it's drifting higher on low volume because shorts are stuck, rather than big buyers coming into the market and participating. It's drifting higher because shorts are stuck. Shorts got stuck between here and here again. All right. So now they're trapped and we're drifting higher. If it was big buying volume, we'd see this doing this and we'd be driving higher. Another push here. Yes, still stuck underneath its VWAP right now. Still feels like it wants to go higher. It's just how does it get there? Liquidity on the tape. 220, 225. Not that much above it. It's an order at 262, but we're talking small lots here, 25 lots. I've like lost interest in trading this right now. I think I got like the good moves. Caught a little bit of the upside, caught this downside. I think we might have had a little bit of one of is this one. And then I took this long. There's not much else to do in this. It's scalping really, because these are not huge moves. 20, 30 point moves. This one was the best one. 50 pointer. Just be careful, like we talked about that trend line liquidity. It's looking ripe for a sweep at some point. If they cannot get this squeeze up, if ES keeps getting stuck at VWAP here, the buyers who have started entering up here and not taking out any profit are going to be targets for this move. Only if it can't get the drive higher it's looking for. Remember, that yellow line is your previous day point of control. Top blue line was it is the average price of buyers and sellers in the New York session, and the bottom blue line is the average price since the failed breakdown of buyers. So average price of buyers since the failed breakdown, average price of all participants in New York. So we're above it right now, so buyers are currently in control. They're looking for a move to here if they can. You need to be careful if it's going to do this first. Yes, keeps failing underneath VWAP. Right, cannot get above VWAP. So ES might come and back test here. Might come and take out all these buyers underneath 37 and back test into, get down to 35s if it wants. Would a retest of 170 and then a move up be a good entry? A retest of 170. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily buy this straight away, Jimbo. But like if it failed here and it did something like this, then I think, yes, at this point, it's a back test of this area here where shorts got stuck. We sweep the liquidity and we trade back inside, then yes, that would be a good entry at that point. But I wouldn't buy it on the way down because it can do this if it wants. Let it build out. Let it prove to you. Yeah, let it come down here and put a giant wick in and come and do this. Don't just bid on the way down, because if it comes all the way down here, you get stuck. It's starting to sweep that liquidity. Look at ES. ES cannot get above its VWAP. It's starting to fail and backtest those levels. So what did I say? 35s? It's at 35.50 now. You want to be careful here. If it keeps staying heavy, it can go back towards IBL. On the ES I'm talking about specifically here. Remember, market is not in sync right now. Tesla just about green, holding on, and I mean holding on. Nvidia 1.3% green now. Remember, that was like 2% up at the start of the day. Meta 2.3% down. Google 0.5% down. Amazon 1.65% down. Microsoft and Apple are flat. All right, they're not doing anything. Market feels thin. Feels thin today. So look at the anchored VWAP off the low. Pretty good, eh? Trade back in. They're trying to absorb it here. I still think they can come and take this guy out here. They can do this move and then this move if they want. If they feel like they've got enough liquidity from here, that's fine. But I think they're going to want to take this guy and then do that if they're going to go for that move higher. If they stay heavy under here, you want to be careful. Why you cannot buy it on the way down. So what's that liquidity level there? 71s or something? Low? 70.50. That's what it wants to take out. If I was a buyer in here, which I was, if I was a buyer up high, that would be my stop down there. So if they can take that out, they have a chance to run higher. Again, ES very, very weak here. Divergence across the markets right now. There we go. So now we've just taken them all out. So all those late buyers got taken out. How it acts now becomes key. Right? Does it trade back upside with that sort of inverted head and shoulders look, or does it stay heavy? So the only way I'd think about being a buyer now is if it starts to do something like this and use this liquidity to get up here. If it continues to stay heavy here, we can rotate. Right? We can think about this breaking down and we can rotate. And again, I'll think about this move down here. I'm not going to get short in here. I would wait for it to get under if I'm thinking about short. I'm still thinking about a bear trap to get long right now until it proves otherwise. ES back to PDC. ES is soaking off PDC. So it ran through 135 down to 132 previous day close and is trying to absorb it. Not looking to front run this for the long. We'll let it prove to me if it really wants to do it. All right, if it's trapping shorts under here after washing out all those buyers, we'll think about the trades back up here when they're up there. Otherwise, want to be very careful about this. We're mainly in a range. We've gone from IBL to VWAP to the midpoint of this session. Remember, this is 50% of this high to low. We traded 50%, finding some sellers. I still think it will want to do this kind of move here, but it's not proven anything yet. But that probability became to sweep that, didn't it? When I kept saying, if it can't do a giant squeeze out, it will trap and come and take these guys out before it goes back up. We see this time and time and time again. This market will punish you if you are late to the game. It will punish you. Job is to create liquidity and attack that liquidity, and then create more and then attack more. Still sellers up there. 190, 205, 220, just above 220. And then is there anything higher? 225, 237, 250, 262. Those are not big lots, but that's where they are. Okay, so starting to look like it's going to do that move now. So if it does it, those shorts are going to get in big pain up there. Big levels here. This is where we just broke down from. That last 1 minute bar. Look at the down candle, the up candle, and then the big down candle. That up candle is key. These VWAPs are key. Yes, holding PDC here. Call me Nostradamus. Still not fully reclaimed, but it's starting to look a bit better. Still not in this yet. Right? It's still technically on the 1 minute chart. There's a bearish structure versus that 1 minute block on the left, that up candle on the left. But if it starts to reclaim, those shorts up top are going to start getting twitchy. Does this all make sense to everyone? Why I was saying we will go and sweep and then we are likely to trade upside. You'll see this time and time again. It's just the easiest bear trap ever. Long stuck up here, traps live beneath that. We sweep it, we turn inside, and we start doing this. We use all these stops now to get up to our original target. Make sense to everyone? Who said that? I love it when shorts get twitchy. Exactly, Mary. Need stops built into the market. That's exactly what it is. Here it goes. All right, here it goes. So again, you have to watch ES here coming back up to its VWAP. It looks very good here, guys. It looks very good. It's an aggressive move back up to 220. Seller at 205, then 210, then through that can squeeze up to sort of 220, right? It's looking good. Trapped exactly like we said. Did literally everything we said it would do, it's starting to do. All right, so now we use this guy's stop and this guy's stop to get up here. So if we can get through these and they cover, they buy back the market and we get back to the target of the VWAP. So if it can build liquidity out here, it can do this move. And That's the reason why I'm able to say this is what the market is likely to do. It's not guesswork. It's just that the market just does repeatable things over and over again. The most repeatable thing it does is build liquidity into the market. It's the most common thing it does. The question at that point is it able to abuse those people, right? And if it can, then we get the move to our targets. If it doesn't, then it probably needs to build out again and again and again and again until it gets there. Yeah, Jesse understands. Yeah, exactly. BU. Hooray, got it. Coop. Leron. Nice, John. Good work. Trend trees kind of makes sense. The more you're here, if you do the course, it would definitely make sense to you. We go over it a lot in the course. Steve C, yeah, lovely, mate. Just wait and see now. Can we build up liquidity versus sort of flow zones and the VWAP for the move, or the anchored VWAP for the move up here? So can we build basically this here for this move here? Because now we've taken these guys out. Shorts are now trapped, right? They chased it down. And now can we use their stops to get higher? That's the question right now. Again, ES and VWAP are important. Right, ES still has not got through VWAP. That's what I'm watching. ES and the VWAP is important right now. Yeah, still in a runner. Yeah, you should be holding this. If it's gonna go, it's gonna go. Right, you just need to see a bit of strength come into ES, but it's starting to put that W look in. If we can get some strength, we should get that squeeze all the way up to VWAP. That's what we should be looking for if there's going to be strength. If it keeps rejecting VWAP on the ES, it's going to be a bit of the pain in the butt. We should try and get to 220 and above that. The IB high is not out the question. Honestly, it's not out the question today. It's a slow, grindy kind of day, right? The moves up are not from genuine buyers. They're more from sellers getting stuck in the market. It has to build liquidity out here to get higher. That's what it has to do. Failing to do that, it will be a problem. ES can't get through its VWAP. This is the big level sort of coming up now. Is it going to hold around here in these VWAPs? Right, because this is the range. Is it going to hold this to do this? I want to see it build some form of bullish structure here out. Is liquidity above for it to aim for? Do not like that ES is struggling so much. It's kind of ugly up there on ES. Not a pretty look on the ES, struggling that much. Want to be careful here if it starts breaking those lows, because then you get that failed look. You get that sort of failed look. You want it to hold here. Must hold here. Must build out liquidity. Failure to do that, all bets are off the table. Yeah, definitely struggling at the VWAP on the ES. Still sellers up high at 220. Looking at where's some bids on the tape, 170-ish. It's a bit ugly if it's going to come all the way down there. I don't really love that. So still just waiting. Would have loved to have seen some bullish structure start to build out there a little bit. ES driving this market lower. QQQ couldn't get through its VWAP. SPY did just about. Are we going to build here? Yeah, thanks, BU. It's just understanding how the market moves and why it moves. That's all it is. That's all it is. Once you can get around your head around that, who's stuck? Why are they stuck? Where are they stuck? What's their pain point? Market's job is to inflict max pain. It's the market's job. Going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so market's still trying to build out. Can it do the inverse head and shoulder for that drive higher? ES starting to try and absorb. This will all look a bit better if the ES can break through view up, really. This is when it will start to look better for the remainder of the session. Yes, is a ugly one. It's dragging, stopping the market doing what it wants to do. Again, mixed bag. Tesla very close to going red on the session now. Very, very close. So back to a key point. Apple at the key point as well. So they both closed the gap. Microsoft as well. So they're all hanging around basically flat on the day. Flat on the day. So if they get buyers come in, then maybe we get that move. If they're going to go red on the day, not a good look if you get Tesla, Microsoft, and Apple all starting to sell here. So all at very, very key points. Nvidia, the strongest out of the Mag 7, 1.6% up. Amazon and Meta the weakest. Amazon 1.8% down. Meta 2.6% down. Here we go. So can they set this and go now? Can they set this and go now? Need to see ES violently drive higher. Do not want it to keep faffing around here because it's going to make this trade impossible to take. Also, what is not that good is that we're stuck underneath PDC here. This trade becomes better through PDC from a daily point of view. From a daily point of view, if you think about the daily bars, like if we can hold previous day close, it's very, very bullish. We have already repriced down towards that Thursday last week. We repriced down towards Thursday's high already this morning. If we can get a squeeze back above previous day close, maybe we can go back towards that top Bollinger Band and the IB high. Starting to look a little bit better here. Starting to look a little bit better. Volume starting to participate here a little bit. Again, ES still not through its VWAP. Still got another 3-4 points to go. Cannot get above that. It has not had a close on a 5-minute above it all day yet. Still feel like the Qs want to move higher. And ES is the one lagging. I know we have relative weakness on the Qs, but the look of the Qs is telling me they want to move higher. The ES is the one dragging it down right now. If we get some market participants coming in, taking Apple green, Microsoft, Tesla's trying to find a bid here, then maybe we can do it. But precarious position. And we're in a new range here, sort of for the last, however long this has been. What's this been? 15, like the last 20, 30 minutes. All right, this is the range. If they break this down, we're going to flush very quickly down here if they break it down. If we get through here, then I expect this drive to here, and maybe here if we get very lucky, but definitely to here if we can get through. I'm just trading flat right now. Sideways, back and forth. Just waiting. Not much to do here. Build out. Join when it's ready. Remember the range today, much smaller. Much smaller range today. That doesn't mean you should necessarily size more. One tweet, one piece of news, unscheduled. We've had it lots and lots the last few weeks, can change everything. So tonight, just got scheduled now. Elon Musk and Trump will be talking tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Zelensky's postponed his trip to Saudi Arabia in order to give legitimacy to the US-Russia meeting in Riyadh. Just see that now. Here goes ESN. ES trying to get back to VWAP. If it can get through VWAP, then we have a potential squeeze. Saya Chowdhury. Alex, in Apex, how do you deal with intraday drawdown? You need to size down and you need to move your stops with your winners. It's as simple as that. Size down. Too many people in Apex use way too much size. You do not need a lot of size in this market. Base hits in Apex. Break down what you're trying to make, your goal, into 10, 20 days, right? And size down to make that. ES again failing in front of the VWAP. SPY again cannot close above its VWAP. Right there again on the SPY. Right there, right now at VWAP, and it cannot get a close over it and soak. Want to be very careful here. If they start to let this go, if buyers keep attempting to get this move into here, which should be happening, and it doesn't, this move here can happen very quick. Keep trying, and it keeps not wanting to do it. What would be the ideal account on Apex? I don't understand what that question is. What do you mean, what would be the ideal account? I don't know your experience. I don't know your tolerance for risk, the size that you like. Everyone's different. I think the easiest accounts to pass and make money on are the 50K accounts. You can use 2 or 3 micros. It's all you need for starting positions on those accounts. You can easily make money on those. On the ES, yeah, I'm sure they will be. I mean, definitely on the SPY, we've had 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes pretty much as inside bars. Pretty much all been inside bars. Yep, take care, Leron. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be out of here in 15, 20 minutes for lunch. Remember that goal originally was from IBL to VWAP, which it's achieved. If it keeps getting stuck here, the rotation back down can happen. Right? If it keeps getting stuck here, this rotation can happen. It's kind of, it did take this level, kind of expected it to backtest this, but it doesn't have to do anything. Remember, we are in an inside IB day, range rotation day. Range to range to range. If it wants to do this, it can. If it wants to get up to here and here, it can. It's just range rotation inside the initial balance. No trend in this session. We're not in a trend day. We're in an initial balance day. Normally I would expect it to come and take this out. Right? Normally I'd expect it to try and do this move, but it keeps failing. We're building a wedge here. It keeps failing on drives higher. The ES is weak. Mag 7 is a mixed bag. Apple cannot get green and not find a bid. Microsoft is green but cannot really find a bid. Right? They will need to find bids if this market's going to move higher. But you say that, you're saying, burn my hands on Apex lost funded accounts specifically with Apex due to intraday drawdown. Okay. Take some responsibility. You lost the accounts because you didn't trade accordingly with the rules which are there. Right? So take the responsibility. It's not Apex's fault. Everyone knows those laws are there. If you don't like those rules, go and trade with a firm which doesn't have the intraday drawdown rules, right? And the drawdown's only there until you get past the buffer. You know, chances are, if you're losing because of intraday drawdown, you're oversizing, you're not moving, letting your stops work properly. That's probably what it is. If you oversize in Apex, you'll be punished. You shouldn't ever be in an occasion where you're using too much size, it goes past the level it should and comes back and takes you out. That's the key with Apex, is not to oversize. Take profit trader, isn't that intraday as well? Or did they? Is that what they removed now? I know they pay out every day. There's lots of options. Lots of options. You can use the is it the growth account with Flowzone? Flowzone with Traderify? Yeah, they removed it. Okay, cool. But there's lots of options, but make sure you take responsibility. That's not me trying to dig you out, but take the responsibility of like, I made the error. I didn't stick to the rules. I'm going to change it. Yeah, because that will help you. If you can mentally accept your wrongdoing, it's a key part of being a trader. I got it wrong. I should have used less size. I shouldn't have moved my stop. Like, as in, I shouldn't have added to a loser. All these things will help you in trading. Once we take responsibility, things get easier. All the time, we're pointing fingers. We don't take responsibility. We'll just repeat the same patterns. You can use there's accounts with Traderify which have end of day, which you can use. I can't remember if it's the growth or the advanced. I always get them confused which way around it is. Or you can go straight to funded. But if you're not a proven trader, I wouldn't advise going straight to funded. Okay, so buyers coming back in here again. This is yet another attempt to get through the VWAP on the ES. Volume starting to pick up here on this most recent drive. Can they trigger a squeeze and a drive higher now? So it's the growth account. If advances in and intraday, it's the growth account. Big level here for a potential squeeze. Can they get through the sort of 200s and 210s? Right? Can they cause a squeeze through previous day control, previous day close, through here, use these stops to get up here. Again, ES again failing at VWAP. This is massive level today on the ES. It cannot show buys through VWAP today on the ES. SPY is through VWAP, but it hasn't closed on a 5-minute bar. One more attempt here on the ES. It's having another go right in towards VWAP now. Here it goes. Here's the squeeze starting. Watching this to see if we can actually participate here. ES still can't get through. All right, here we go, folks. Can we get this move? Remember, we need to abuse these stops up here. God, they're making this extra hard today. We need to abuse these stops up here to get into here. ES still is not through VWAP. I'm going to keep saying that. I know it's like me just talking non-stop, but ES has not got a close through VWAP. Another 5-minute bar going to close in the next few minutes. Here goes ES. ES now going. Here's the squeeze now. So now they're looking to run those stops up higher. Can they get all the way to VWAP on the NQ? Can they get all the way to VWAP on the NQ? Is there a way of participating in this? ES now back testing its VWAP. Are you just going to absolutely fly without really giving me much to get involved in? Here we go. Boom. So did we get through that first level? We tapped on it. Still think we can get to VWAP here. Still think we can get to VWAP here. Come on. Come on, ES. Help us out here. We had to build a nice big W here on a 1 minute chart to get anything going. Looking for a move all the way up to 220s, 225s. And then if we really get going, we can think about that IB high, I guess. Lots of liquidity up here. 210, 215, 220, 225. All the liquidity stacked up there. They want to drag this market higher. Remember, we're looking for this wick here to get taken out. We have a double top there now. Lots of liquidity right here. We need this move here to happen. Remember, this is where shorts got stuck. This move here. It made that really hard there to build out a big old W here just to get to this point. Must hold this level here. ES back to VWAP again. Remember, this is your RBS level. This is where shorts got stuck. Must hold this for this rotation. What's Coop saying? Preach, spot on about taking accountability. Took me a long time to get there. Yeah, exactly. Your trading will get better when you take accountability for your actions. The moment, it's fine to say, I lost my accounts because Apex has a trading drawdown. That's fine. But you lost the accounts because of how you traded those accounts, right? Because you probably, whatever you did, you've just got to take accountability. I oversized. I moved my stop. I added to a winner. I didn't take profit. Whatever it is, it's your fault. It's always your fault. We're the ones that click the buttons. The only time it's not our fault is if you're in a trade and, you know, some tech lets you down, like, I don't know, like our trader goes down or whatever and you lose them. That's the only time you can be like, there's nothing I can do there. Otherwise, as traders, it's our job, right? It's our job to manage our money. There you go, Jay Mooney. I had to stop adding to winners. Nice, Tyson, stopping the money. Okay, so we've raided that now, this level, so we are going to assume we should come all the way back into these guys. All right, so we raided these stops. This was a little bit nasty here, but eventually it's given this move. Talk about taking its time to do it, though. I mean, like letting paint dry for 20 points here. All of this just to get to here. Come on, get going, market. Get going, market. ES now starting to base above its VWAP. So ES not too far from IB high. We've got a long way to go to get up there. Let me have a quick look at all the volume. Even to get anywhere near here is going to take quite a decent effort here. They're going to have to turn the buying on. But it is looking good now for the squeeze. So it stops here. This pull here is going to be key. Remember, this is where we faded the market this morning. So anyone who is swing short here, looking for a breakdown into here, this is where their stop is, back in here. A very typical rotational market. IB low, VWAP 1, VWAP 2. If it can reclaim that, it will try and get up here. Don't think there's much more we could have done here, team. I honestly think we got some good moves. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it took a couple of tries, didn't it? It was an awkward one. It was an awkward one. It would have been nice if it just based here to go, rather than having to need to come all the way back down into this level and chop around all these minutes. It would have been nice if it did it. Well, it doesn't always do exactly what we want. But I think if we move to 2 minutes, probably a little bit smoother. So just a dance here. And the anchored VWAP key. Definitely key. Really? Really? But lots of selling here. Like, they're just stacked up here between 15 and 25. It's not like huge, but it's like a 20 lot, an 18 lot, a 28 lot, a 50 lot, a 35 lot. They're just stacking up. We got 7 minutes left until we get into lunch, and then I'm gonna leave you all there. Hopefully you've learned something today. Hopefully you caught some winners with me today. We had some nice trades. We had to be patient like we always are. You have to be patient in this market. Still looks good for potential continuation, but we're starting to take out some key levels now. Thank you for all the new followers who've joined recently. It's amazing to see the growth. I don't know what happened in the last week. It's like YouTube finally decided it was going to let people know I exist. Miguel says, have a good day, everyone. I think he means. I feel greed trying to take over, so I'm getting off. Good work, Miguel. Good discipline, good understanding of your potential triggers. This was really easy. Today was easy. Once we broke this, all right, once we broke this, we moved into longs, failing to make a new low. Longs above here, looking for rotation. All the time from here, we were looking for shorts down. Two sides of the trade. All right, short side, long side, in a range. Here's your range, your IB. That's your range right now. So if you understood your initial balance, if you understood the back testing, the reason the market's moving today, although it was a little tricky in here, today was actually fairly easy. Once we bottomed out, failed to make a new low, pivot above here, we bought this pullback, this one here, and then in here, for this drive up. So good trading. If you caught the short or caught the long or caught both, really, really good. Miguel, well, it only worked for 24 hours. Miguel Bardwell. Only worked for the first 24 hours. You might have missed it. I know it worked because I had a ton of people use it. Tyson, I'm feeling agreed too. I'm done. Huge day for me. Thanks, everyone. Great work, Tyson. All right, ES back through view up, starting to fail here. All right, we're getting very, very close to lunch. You're getting very, very close to a new hourly bar. Also, think about the volume. Look at the hourly bars. Where have we just traded back into? Point of control. Big level. We said here, if we wick above and fail this, we come back to the low. Remember, talking about this on the hourly transitions. If we take out the old hourly bar high and cannot hold bids above to reprice this, you have to be very careful about this being a stop run to come back lower. Just based on hourly transitions. The new hour will help tell us what it wants to do. There is a chance, all right, if the hourly bar, if we can close and base above point of control, we can come and reprice into here. There's a drift higher into here. Otherwise, you can think about that move there. It's unlikely I'm going to trade the rest of this session. I genuinely think we've probably had the best moves. There's no news to move the market. I don't see why they would necessarily turn the buy algo on here to come back into here straight away. It might drift higher, but like trading into lunch, I'm treating this like a Monday. I think we've had some really nice plays. I don't know what else we can say is like high probability for the remainder of the day. Remember, we're trading in a 137-point range right now, not a big range. Christy W, thanks for all you do. I just switched to my practice charts for the day. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, great idea, Christy. Made your money, move to practice, follow the charts now. Keep sticking to the same rule, even in your practice stuff. Stick to all the same rules. Nice one, Coop. Thanks for joining, buddy. Appreciate you. Catch you tomorrow. Have a good day of work. ES back to its RBS level. SPY right on its VWAP. QQQ underneath its VWAP. NQ didn't even make it to its VWAP. So QQQ did. There's a bit of divergence between the ETFs here. The VIX is still just sat on previous day high here. If VIX starts letting go of previous day high and starts closing its gap to previous day low, then the market can squeeze back higher. So I have got one eye on the VIX as well. But I think I'm probably done here, folks. Moving into a new hourly bar here. Just be careful in this transition in case they inject a ton of liquidity in the next few minutes in this hourly, coming in 30 seconds. Again, they can easily come and clear everything up. We squeezed from here. They let go of this. They can come and clean this up, and then they can come back, or they can stay heavy. Remember, we went from here to here. That's goal number 1. Right, IB to VWAP. Pretty much did it. Definitely did it on the ES. RSG. Just locked in 4K in Apex payouts, and I'm done for the day. Fantastic work, RSG. Love to see it. Love to see it. No worries, Crawford. Have a great day. Hope work goes well. I'll catch you tomorrow. All right, folks. That's it. We're done. We got the moves. We got the moves we wanted. Nothing else to trade here for me. If you are hanging around in lunch or after lunch, just remember the rules. Think about the rotations. Think about what the market's trying to do. You've got no news in the market. You have a mixed bag. All right. You have a complete mixed bag. Tesla, 0.25% down. Nvidia, 1% up. Meta, 2.7% down. Google, 0.59% down. Amazon, 2% down. Microsoft, 0.10% up. Apple just about holding on green. All right, we are in a rotational market. All right, from IB to IB. Just going to go over this just very quickly before I leave. Think about the daily. The daily is going to help you. We are failing to close above what? Above the top Bollinger, which is normal. We do not expect closes above the top Bollinger Band. This is like an elastic band. Once we get up here, we expect a pullback and then allow the Bollinger to trade higher so we can go back up towards it. All right, so today is a counter trend day because we are experiencing a pullback in towards some of these key levels. It can drift all the way down here over the next few sessions if it wants. The other thing to remember is we have divergence. The NQ, which is this one that we're looking at here, has not made all-time highs. The ES has made all-time highs, or like joint all-time highs. All right, the SPY has definitely made all-time highs. All right, new all-time highs right at the top Bollinger, and the QQQ I think also made all-time highs this morning. It did. All right, and it's failing back outside and then come back inside the top Bollinger. So the NQ is the only one not to make all-time highs. All right, it's the only one not to make all-time highs. So we have a bit of divergence in this market. ETFs all did it. I will be looking to participate as a buyer down here and here this week. We can have a 2-day pullback. Even if it wants to do a whole week pullback, that's fine. Reprice some of this. I'll be looking to participate as a buyer at that point. I really don't want to be buying up here, ideally. All right, so we were expecting that pullback day. Then we trapped shorts and we're holding and ranging. There's not much else to expect today. Unless shorts get really, really cooked here and we're going to do this move. I find it very unusual for them to do it today because there's no news to really drive that. Unless they turn the buy algo on or some major news hits the market, I can't see a reason for it to do that. Right, so we're just going to keep rotating. Today is about trapping liquidity for what's going to happen later. That is what today is all about. It is about trapping liquidity to use later. Stay zoomed out. All of these guys, when I say guys, all of these traders in here will be the liquidity for later in the week. If we can trade down to here, we can do this. If we can trade under here, we can wash. Right? Don't use all your bullets up on a day like today. Right? Lots and lots of price action ahead for the rest of the week. Just be smart. You're into lunch now. have a great day. Those in Discord, I'll pop in a little bit later. Going to use the gym, get some food, all the usual stuff. Trade safe, be smart, be kind to each other. Use hard stops. See you tomorrow.